something about his manners. Havana, how you do it. When he came in there, said a lot of good I can do it. But I can without you forever. You don't say it. That's how much I've been jumping through my mind going in. He got me feeling like ooh. And then I tell him I loved him when I left him. Got me feeling like ooh. And then I had to tell him I had to go. Oh na 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 Havana, oh na na. Hey, how come my heart is in Havana, oh na na. Hey, he took me back to East Atlanta, na na na. Hey, all of my heart is in Havana. My heart is in Havana, Havana, oh na na. Jeff. Be careful.
You alright, mate?
I'm good. Hey, what's the other? It's on fire! It's on fire! Mine's also on fire! Mine's on fire. Yeah!
Otherwise you lose half your life. Don't be scared.
May I please have my push?
You're not going to burn yourself on this. I can see it. You need to put it a bit more. Don't come out like that.
I got it wrong.
That's over the flame.
Your way does it. Thomas, your way really does it. Ronnie's bad for How can you possibly roast it, Thomas?
Well done. Perfect. I think
Guys, be patient. Don't put it in the flame. Put it in.
Broken down, they all fell. He said, "Going to heaven." They all went to heaven, little angels all dressed in white, trying to get to heaven on the end of the kite. But the kite string broken down, they all fell. Instead of going to heaven, they all went to 6 little angels all dressed in white, trying to get to heaven on the end of the kite. But the kite string broken down, they all fell. Instead of going to heaven, they all went to 5 little angels all dressed in white, trying to get to heaven on the end of the kite. But the kite string broken down, they all fell. Instead of going to heaven, they all went to 4 little angels all dressed in white, trying to get to heaven on the end of the kite. But the kite string broken down, they all fell. Instead of going to heaven, they all went to 3 little angels all dressed in white, trying to get to heaven on the end of the kite. But the kite string broken down, they all fell. Instead of going to heaven, they all went to 2 little angels all dressed in white, trying to get to heaven on the end of the kite. But the kite string broken down, they all fell. Instead of going to heaven, they all went to 1 little angel all dressed in white, trying to get to heaven on the end of the kite. But the kite string broken down, they all fell. Instead of going to heaven, they all went to hell. Get excited, don't lose your head. Instead of going to heaven, they all went to hell. Okay, I shouted.
Fish and I like kayaking.
I like waking up in the nature in the morning. It was very fresh and I'm really feeling stress-free now. And the community, everything was fantastic. Yes, even the kids being so engaged. It was a very nice experience. Fantastic.
I like it when they took the water out of the pink kayak. It was so cool.
style of learning that the children can experience their learning by using their body, their heart, their thinking. All three things come together, and they can learn to be sit still also, learn to be calm down, and learn to use that sense like a activity that blind walk, other than the normal sense they use. I think they experience many things in their body, in their life, how to that they could not experience like that in their daily life. They can learn. Oh, they can use other sense also, and they can use body, and it's fun. Okay.
I loved watching the kids get thrown into the water. That was very fun. And also making the clay eggs and watching them explode. It was great. Yeah. All the fun things that happened. There are so many little memories.
I just loved watching the kids enjoy themselves so much. I thought it was just fun to hear. It was lovely to hear all the laughter, and great to see the kids working together and helping one another and supporting one another. It just warmed my heart.
I usually say the same thing, which I'll say again, which is that I just enjoy seeing all the children having so much engagement, so much fun, activities, smiles, hanging out together. And I really think I can't even put in words how kind of powerful it is to be in nature, especially nowadays with our computers and our phones, and to be able to experience our life without that and just body and mind be engaged in nature, I think is really, really important. But the other thing I wanted to say is I had a number of really wonderful conversations with parents, with a number of the parents that really inspired me and realized that we don't just have special kids, but we have special parents.
I enjoyed the atmosphere. It was great, especially the big kids and the little kids getting on so well. I think Emma said it well, that there's a kindness that the big kids show to the little kids, and everyone gets a bit of space. And I particularly enjoyed pushing everyone into the water. That was my time on my best memory.
I like being in camp. I like the teaching to them how they live with nature. It's like that. They can do things together to make a firewood and cooking things together.
It's kind of hard to pick one thing really, because there were so many cool things. I mean, like everyone said, it's great seeing all the kids playing together. It's nice to see the parents playing together. I enjoyed kayaking, fireflies, the stars because of the lack of light pollution, and I really like the fact that my telephone didn't work here.
Well, I really did enjoy staying quiet with the birds, and it was really nice cooking the marshmallow, and I think it's the only time that I'm quiet.
I had a lot of great moments this weekend. One of my favorite moments is probably right now. Partly because I feel so relaxed. Because the whole weekend, the children were just eager for everything and happy to help each other and make the camp smooth. And parents helped us with cooking and the children, and it just felt like a family camp. And sometimes at the end of camps, I'm really exhausted. I've been like rounding up kids all weekend, but it just felt like everybody really wanted to be here and be part of it. And I really enjoyed how children interacted with the
some folks that joined us. Is anyone?
First of all, just to hear your own footsteps, to hear all the birds and bugs, and the sky lit up at night with the stars, and feeling like you're in a community where everyone is part of being in this space. I watched kids go off, sitting by themselves, together, and observing, just watching plants and flowers and birds, and it's just so touching to see kids take initiative and explore on their own, you know? And we have all these activities, and they're wonderful. But then when they look at what they learned, or just what it meant like to sit next to the water, and then they do it by themselves. They own it. They feel that there's a space within themselves that they have this desire to do. And it's within me so deeply. And it was so good that the cell phone didn't work, because it's the constant interruption that breaks those moments. And I missed sleeping in a hammock. It was wonderful sleeping in a hammock again. And being able to look up between the trees and see the stars. I know not everyone always enjoyed the kids talking at night, but to me it was mostly soothing. Them having their little conversations.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to make sure you can still wake up the next day and be refreshed. But
Make a scream.
and if I have to pick one game, I really liked last night's game when the kids were trying to sneak up on us. Because that's when it really felt like they put in practice some of the things they learned, and they were very patient. It was very surprising. Probably if we wouldn't have had the cutoff time, we would have been here for another hour. And it reminds me of my childhood, and I feel very connected to all the kids. I love you guys.
Adults slow down, be it sitting or being in the dark and comfortable in the dark. All these ways I was watching you slow everybody down so that they can feel the nature, which is not natural to us when we're at home. And it's difficult, even though we have experienced that as adults, to try and replicate it in our lives at home. I find it very difficult for myself personally, but it helps to have it facilitated, and it's great. Thank you so much.
We've been, and we can add it all up. But this last few days has not been about adding anything up. It's about experiencing nature, the friendship of each other. And unfortunately, we can't measure that. All we can do is we can feel that. So when people speak now at the end of the time together, of course, we can take that energy and we can feed from it. It's a shame we haven't got some way in this amazing technical world that we live in to keep that, to store that. So you have to store that in your head. You have to keep that experience in your mind and remember what you've done. You're lucky young children, and you've got a great life ahead of you, and this I'm sure will be a great experience for you to look back on. So try and store it, try and keep it, and remember the good time that you've had. You've done great. Well done.
Seeing Benji, I guess, and the other kids in his group just kind of wander around and figure it out, and Annabelle gets stuck in and get involved. It was great to see. And I think that was, for all the kids, just watching everyone just get in, and the screens were taken away. There's no screens, there's nothing, just, you had to be entertained with what we've got. That was awesome. I think that was the thing that stood out to me the most.
Dave and Tash, I don't know that you know this, but when we started this school 12 years ago, David and Tash were very much my mentors, and I got most of my information on how to be with the kids from them. I don't know if you know that, but what you taught me about inquiry-based education was profoundly instrumental in how we made the school. And they led the camp for us for the first 5 years, and then after they left, we didn't have a camp. And the kids were crazy when they were doing it. We had kids that hadn't really been processed or hadn't really learned how to be. And so when they talked about sit spot, it was just torture for them. That was my memory. Nobody said that was a good thing about camp. They hated it. And since you've been gone, I've been trying to do camp. And I every year that we've been here, I've regretted it because I know it wasn't the way I wanted it to be. We were doing these kind of sporty camps and trying to have kids sit on the grass and experience nature a little bit, but I always carried this kind of regret that it wasn't as good as it could be because I knew it could have been better. But I was trying to plant seeds of awareness in the kids. And this year it feels really like hearing a number of you say that you enjoyed this sit spot is really, really touching for me. That the foundation we had laid worked, and having you back really felt like a culmination, like it's working. But I'm also present too. This is the first year that my baby's not here. I'm so delighted that so many of you can be here, and also I'm present. They grow up.